Story 1. She cries when I'm not looking. Me and my WS were supposed to go out on a fancy dinner date 2 nights ago after I got home from work. Normally I get home around 6, so the plan was for her to get ready for our date and I would come and pick her up and we would have a nice night out. I was able to wrap up my work an hour early, so I went and bought some flowers as a little surprise because she expressed in CC that she loves when I get her gifts. But when I got home I saw her crying in our bedroom whilst in lingerie. She tried to brush it off and say that it was nothing. I told her we were not going to dinner unless she would tell me what's wrong. She then went on and explained that she was crying because when she was making herself look sexy for me that night it triggered her because during her EA her AP would always say that I never found her sexy and he would constantly want her to send him sexy pictures but she would constantly turn him down, but he was really pushy about this. And while she was looking at herself in the mirror she felt gross and couldn't really feel sexy anymore. She then told me that this happens quite a lot actually, her crying by herself due to her triggers because she didn't want to burden me with her own emotions and that she doesn't feel like she can express these emotions because she caused this to herself. I explained to her that I want her to be emotional with me and that I want her to be able to be forward with her emotions and not worry about burdening me with her emotions because we are trying to build a relationship where we are always honest with one another and are willing to be there for each other no matter what. We chose not to go out and instead stay home and make a home-cooked dinner instead and then had some very emotional sex afterwards. I am currently taking a break from work and wanted to ask how often do WS on this sub get triggers from their own affair and do the WS tell their BS or try to deal with it by themselves? I would also appreciate if some WS could help me show her that she can be more vulnerable with me and that I want her to express how she is feeling to me. Reader comment: you seem like such an incredibly kind, caring, and empathetic person. Thank you for sharing your story. It feels weird to admit, but I have definitely gotten triggered by my past choices and cheating. I'll be trying to heal, move forward, and get hit with sudden waves of shame and remorse, as if I was back in the moment. I try not to share these thoughts as much with my current partner, as this reopens his wounds. I also have felt shame and feeling hurt triggered just because I know I am the root of the issue. It's something I work on every day. I wish you and your partner the best of luck. Reader comment: I don't know how your wife is, however if she needs something easier to understand, maybe try a concise statement. Let her know if your negative feelings are from remorse or from problems with us we need to fix. I will always want you to share them and will never be angry about them. I always want to know how you feel and to help both of us heal together in those cases. Reader comment: I think this is a big step forward. You are in serious reconciliation when you support each other through pain. You are both in it, just two different kinds. You obviously feel the betrayal and hurt. She hates herself and who she became. She has to start forgiving herself at some point, but that will take time. Story 2. My long-term girlfriend broke up with me. I recently broke up with my long-term girlfriend. We'd been together for years. I love her. But she wasn't interested in me anymore and wanted to explore her sexuality. I understand, I guess. It's just hard. I wanted to marry her, and she told me she wanted to marry me. I don't know if she meant it anymore. She was cold and unfeeling during the breakup, and I was desperate and annoying. For some context, I moved away to university just a few hours from her last year, so we'd entered a mid-distance relationship. I promised that it'd be okay and that I'd see her as often as I could. I tried, but the transition made me bitter and I was upset a lot of the time. She broke it off with me then because the distance was too difficult for her, which was like 5 months ago. We were both going through hell, and I reflected on how I took her for granted since I moved away. She took me back. I tried to be present and a good boyfriend from then on. I really tried. I just had issues that I wasn't aware were slowly pushing her away from me. I wasn't very adventurous. God, I don't know why I wasn't. All the things she'd love to do, I would love to do. She wanted to go to rivers and parks and ride horses and do things like that. I would love to do those things. I was just tired. And I was comfortable. I regret it, but I was comfortable and didn't notice that every time I forced us inside, I'd kill her love for me a little more. I wasn't attentive. I'd sleep in when I'd come over. She's an early bird, and I really love to sleep. She'd often be upset because I'd only ever wake up for classes or other responsibilities. She thought I felt she wasn't important. I also never planned anything good for us. To me, a fine date was going out to eat and watching a movie together. To her, she wanted to go try something new together, not just go on a plain old dinner date and movie. I look back, and I don't know why I didn't get out of my comfort zone. I wish I did. I want to. I guess back to the adventurous part. She says we wanted different things out of life. I wanted to stay in the suburbs near the city, but she wanted to go somewhere in the mountains or surrounded by nature. It was my dream as a kid to have a ranch outside the city and grow my own things. I still want that. I was just worried about jobs and living too far from the city. I did this match thing at my school to get my mind off of her. The results came back. It just made me think of my ex. That's really why I'm writing this. I can't stop thinking about her and what I did wrong. I'd do everything differently if I could. I'm dropping a class so that I have more time to explore. I went to the gym today. I want to make it a habit. I'm going to try and eat healthy. I don't know. I guess the best thing I can do is grow as an individual. I still love her with all of my heart. And a big chunk of me wants her to come back. But I know she won't. She made it very clear, though I know my breakup panicking didn't make her desire to ever come back. Maybe one day we'll rekindle. If so, hopefully then I'm a more well-rounded person. I want to stay friends with her. We're doing no contact for a little under a month. When it ends, I'm going to try hard not to smother her or anything. I plan to keep conversation light. TLDR, I broke up with my long-term girlfriend. A lot of the post is self-reflection. I still love her, but she's made it clear that we're done for good. I need advice to get through the no-contact phase and not push her completely out of my life. I feel like I left out a lot. If you guys have any questions that are appropriate, I might answer. Also, I'd appreciate comments that don't comment on our age or how there are so many fish in the sea. I know that. I'm hurting deeply and I still harbor so much love for this person. I'd appreciate advice on how I can feel better, grow as a person, and maintain my friendship with my ex-reader. Comment: I had a similar thing happen when I was your age. Long distance plus experiencing freedom in college changes things quickly. This sounds like it was your first real relationship, and it is absolutely no fun to love and miss and want to be with someone when they don't. I know it sucks, and I'll tell you what I wish I knew. In hindsight, I really wish that I'd accepted things more quickly and tried my best to move on. Try to learn as much as you can from the relationship and make your way forward in your own life. Don't rush back into dating. Take some time for yourself to get over her. I would also try to find a hobby to occupy you as much as possible, especially in the short term when it's still raw. Here's the part you probably don't want to hear: maintaining a friendship with your ex is going to be very, very difficult for you. You were together for 4 years, and a month of no contact is not going to be enough time for you to get over her, not even close. I know you want to stay connected with her, but this pain you feel is kind of like an open wound. Talking to her, seeing her, hearing about her life, unless you're very well adjusted, this all will irritate that wound and keep it from healing. Worst case, you will pine after her for years and keep yourself from moving forward. At the very least, I'd recommend significantly more no-contact time, 6 months at the least. I would consider just going your separate ways. It would likely be better for both of your emotional healths in the long run. Anyway, I'm sorry that you're hurting, and I hope things get easier soon. Wishing you the best. Story 3: 10 weeks after D-Day. Hey community, this is my first post here, but I've been here for a couple of months. I appreciate what you guys doing here, and it is very inspirational for those who are struggling with pain. I felt a need to share my story. I live with my fiancé for 3 years already. I was suffering from PRN addiction and PIDE, and our sex life was pretty bad. We spoke a couple of times about it, and I really felt sorry for not being able to provide her with a good sex life. She was trying her best, but I was disappointed all the time for losing my erection and started to avoid sex. Besides that, we were a perfect couple. We loved and cared about each other. I thought I found my soulmate and we were planning a wedding this year. 10 weeks ago, she admitted that she was chatting with a colleague. They met and they kissed after some drinks. I was in shock. I haven't cried, yelled, or said any word. I was just sitting in shock with my hands on my head. I really hate cheating, and one of the main reasons why I started dating her was that I was 100% sure she would never do something like that. I spent the next day at my friend's place drinking like a fish, but decided to come back and set rules to forgive her. It was just a kiss after a couple of drinks. It could happen to anyone, and she admitted her mistake. I thought. The day after I got sober, I came back home to speak with her and to get all the details. She was ready to listen to me and answer everything I asked. But when I asked to see her work PC, she was frightened and told me that the things I'll see there will make me leave her. Eventually, she gave me access, and then another worse shock came. She was having an emotional affair with that guy for a couple of months. There were some voids and they haven't spoken in months, but still, it was enough disgusting material that I wanted to puke. Even after that kiss, which she said she didn't enjoy and regretted instantly, she told him that she was so happy they met that day and were chatting for the next 3 days until her guilt kicked in. I was so devastated, I yelled and cried for the first time in 10 years. How can such a beautiful creature write some married dude such disgusting things while I sit in another room? That night I got my first panic attack. My mind just couldn't process what is going on. I was a caring boyfriend. How did I deserve this? How did she allow this to happen? I haven't slept or eaten well for a whole week. She was genuinely remorseful and sorry, but it didn't make me feel better. The only reason why I haven't moved out is that she came and told me what happened. Yes, she tried to minimize it first, but still admitted everything. Her story is that he liked her and she liked the guy and was happy to get compliments and feel desirable. When he started sending her messages which were more than just a flirt, she admitted to him that she feels some passion toward him, but that she loves me and that she doesn't want anyone else besides me. But eventually, she started responding the same way as he, with all the passion and excitement like they were real lovers. It was just a fun game for her from time to time, because she didn't want anything besides that attention. But her real fall started when he wasn't sending her texts anymore and she felt used. So she called him to meet to end all of that. And as soon as he started giving her attention, she was happy. She relaxed, had 2 glasses of wine, and at one point, that guy kissed her and she accepted it. She then told him that things like that should never happen again and went home. But tomorrow, the guy texts her again, and they started another passionate conversation for 3 days until she got bored and started feeling guilty. That kiss was too much for her, but also gave her the soul attention that she so desperately needed. She was going to therapy for a year while that was happening and was speaking with her therapist and wanted to tell me twice that she started feeling attraction towards another man, but the therapist was against it, saying it is childish and selfish to say something like that to partner. And after that kiss happened, she realized that she crossed the border and told me. I was thinking for a month about what to do. Should I forgive her? Could I live with that feeling for the rest of my life? But decided to give it a try. During this period she did everything that she needs to do. She blocked him everywhere, she doesn't go to the office anymore, answered all my questions multiple times. We started counseling. But I still feel like trash. She is giving me all the love and attention, but I'm still having intrusive thoughts, triggers, anxiety attacks, keep asking questions to her and to myself. I think about what happened every day for hours. I do love her, but I'm still disappointed, and sometimes when things look normal, I get triggered with thoughts that it is not normal. There was someone else besides you. I'm seeing a therapist once a week and struggling with obsessive thoughts every day. Sometimes it just feels that I'm going in circles, and that is driving me crazy. I wish I could forget everything. I truly wish to forgive her and move on to where we were before all of that. But it is so hard. I had some pretty bad traumas in the past, far worse than this, but this one hurts me more than anything. I don't know how long is this pain going to take and what should I do to make it go away. My therapist told me that I shouldn't ask so many questions anymore and should focus on the future, while our therapist thinks that we should discuss what happened. It is a confusing, painful, and long way, but I know she is a good person and is still worth, and she is really trying her best to prove that. Does anyone have a similar story? Can you please share how did you deal with the pain and when it was gone?